Well, howdy, tubers. Here we are with my collection vid, Volume 5. Our Smetleyville points, which are Smiths, Etleys, and Melvilles. And our Sedalia points, which are Middle Archaic. Probably more 4,000 to 7,000 years old. They say 5 to 6 or whatever, but it was a very large culture. And we know from watching the Cucumber, Richard Diggett, the Cucumber, and then a couple places I've been at that I've showed on some vids, there's all the same kind of sites. You'll find all the Etleys and Smiths and Melvilles mixed together, right along with your Sedalia points. This is the last one I showed up that I dug at my one buddy's. It's all translucent. It's a super stellar Sedalia. I'm not sure what was done and what I did, but some of it was already taken off of there. I think I just may have touched it like right there at the edge. But this is one I definitely would like to send into Dr. Gomer. I don't have near as many Sedalias as I do Smetley type points. It's what we like to call them. But, see, I guess since my Sedalias are shorter, this Sedalia here comes from the same site this did. This come from that site. These two up here come from that site. Well, my friends, where a few of my Etleys come from. This here's a really killer Sedalia. Snyder Point man has one of the nicest Etleys besides that one that come up from there. This one then went into my ugliest contest, because if this ain't one ugly Sedalia, well, I don't know what is. But we love them all. And see, this was the first one I ever dug up there. I've tried to get that dirt cleaned out to see if it's like a quartz pocket, but big thick old stack on that side. And this one here, which has a little bitty chip down here in the base. But it's a stellar little point. I love it. I like its colors, how it's been sharpened down, and everything. It's been sharpened down, and it's a good sharpener. They didn't get that twist in there, which is what they really didn't want. Then let's see, first ones ever found in the creek. This was my first Sedalia ever found. It was laying up like this. I mean, a buddy was hunting, and about 10 yards where I found this, he found a 4-inch blade that was sticking 3 inches up out of the gravel. Hey, black stuff gets in there. Here's another little Sedalia found in the creek. Got some nice color to it. Then here's another creek one I caught on film. I had actually called it something else when I found it, and I don't know why. I guess I thought that was a shoulder and not a break spot. Then I have this little one here I dug up in a cave. It's a short little stubby Sedalia, but boy, I hope the camera's doing it justice for its color, because come on, focus. It's got amazing color in it. Where's it go? Goes right there. And then this, I actually dug it up with some Etleys on another big Smetley type site, which produced Sedalias right along with it, but they were very few. This is one of the coolest pieces I own, but it's a piece of hematite that's been all kind of edges worked all the way around it, except this one back side here. And other than that, it's really, really cool. I just love it. But I dug it up along with like, these three Etleys right here, and this Etley there is from up there too. And it's got some spots where the quartz veins shine right through it. The tape's probably hiding one of them, I imagine. My very first Etley. This was my very first Etley here from the creek I found. But this is my favorite Etley from the creek. And actually, I've been told by a few old timers that they think it's older than an Etley. But it's not ground or nothing anywhere. I just like it. And it was the day I found it, and how I found it is just one of them you could see. I seen it from like 20 yards shining out in about 2 foot of water. White rock and a bunch of brown rocks. It was stellar. Let me just pick this up and kind of go through them real quick here. This is a dug point. That's a dug point. This is a dug point, just missing the ear. And it's been worked off like a knife. And I imagine that material there is probably translucent if it wasn't a black material on the other side. That's a creek find there. There's a field find. A big lump of quartz pocket on this side. There's a big sea of dirt find right there. That's a dug find. That's a Gasconade float trip find, me and Terry. That's my second creek Etley I ever found. Barely found it with about a thumbnail spot showing in the middle, and Jude getting some sand in it totally flipped out like that. And my friend that was with me was like, "No way, I couldn't believe I just seen that." This is one of my favorite Smetley type points here. Well, it's got 100 different lines just full of color in it. Some of Mozarkite's finest. Maybe a little red Rhine right there on top. It's got this hole on this side, but still a really cool point. That's a big sea of dirt find from last year. Oh boy, it seems like I'm taking up a lot of video time, sorry. Here's a Stellar Smith missing a little bit of tip from the big sea of dirt. Here's a creek Etley. Just found this with maybe about that much blade sticking out the gravel. Here's another favorite creek Etley. And I showed some creek Etleys in my creek case. This here's definitely a Smetley type, or some really sweet Mozarkite. The tip had a little damage though, but I think it's old and not tractor damage. And it is a beautiful, beautiful point. I love that point. This next one here, I dug this up, and this is another one I'd like to send to Dr. Gomer because it's probably missing about an inch of tip or so. Kind of at an angle, but the material totally changed color right there from what the material is. And then yeah, it's kind of translucent too on the side. But man, it's a stellar Smith Melville type. I love it. Definitely another one, like I said, I like to send to Dr. Gomer. Here's another Doug Etley. Some of our plain white chert. Here's the big C, some kind of soft tan shirt, and it's even got the rind still on that side. Let's see, this is out of the big sea of dirt. Little rind left on it, little pink there, made into a knife. Super, super thin. I don't know what caused that. A freeze pop is what I'm thinking. Can't believe it split like that. And this I found in the heavy rocks out in front. This is one I dug up on a ridge site of my buddies that's just like the cute. And my other buddy, where I dug the sedalias and a few points at. So this is a third site like that that's in this area. This one's really, really cool. Really cool. And I like this next one here too. Even though it's missing that ear, and that's ancient. Some awesome mosaic. Here's like a Smith knife. It's got, where's that? Some kind of fossil on this side. And it's been rounded up. Really cool piece. See, we watched me find this last spring out in the big sea of dirt. Missing a little bit right there, but it's a stellar little Wettley, man. I love it. Another big sea of dirt find from last year. That's how the tip's made too. Just missing that ear. This is some really weird soft material. Almost reminds me like a sandstone kind of. But it's a type of chert. But really soft. As compared to like this is some hard mosaic here. Stellar little point. There's a big sea of dirt last year. It's missing here, there, a little bit of damage there, but I really like the colors in it. See, this is one of my first Ettleys from the sea of dirt. You see that spot missing there? That's where my second Ettley was. I sent that to someone, to a friend for Christmas. But this was the first one I found out there. Besides lots of that black woods patina, we get this rust patina on our stuff. I really like it. And here's another big sea of dirt find. Been busted around by the tractor a little bit, but see, this was another field find. Just a little bitty one. This was last spring. A Smetley type. Shame that there was knocked in it, but I still like it. It's pretty cool. This was last spring. This is the oolitic material. It's like sugar quartz, but it's not. This is an early field hunting find. Looks like one of my second or third Ettleys out of the field. Got a big old stack on that side. Rough stuff on that side. Already showed that one. This one here was another field find Ettley. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed that. Trying to not get it as long as the Dalton vid did. Trying to keep them short. I got about maybe 2 more collection videos to do. The Sedalias. Well, thanks for enjoying another collection volume. Hope everyone has a rockin' time.